Reinstated Johannesburg Mayor Mpho Phalatse has expressed hope of a longer term in office. She says robust negotiations are already taking place with coalition partners. It says opposition parties, of course, insist that her court victory may be short-lived. The ruling, which declared Council Speaker Colleen Makhubela's decision to place a motion of no confidence against her, this is against Phalatse, was handed down today. It found that decision to be unlawful, unconstitutional and invalid.
There was an injustice, there was unlawfulness in the ousting of an executive mayor and in the election of an executive mayor. Surely that's enough of an infringement to act and to approach the courts for recourse, which we have done, and I'm glad that we've been victorious. I think today there's no confusion as to who is the executive mayor of the city of Johannesburg. We've had confusion in the last few weeks because I've always maintained that what happened was illegal, and I did not recognize Dada Morero as the executive mayor, and there was a lot of contention around that, but the courts have since proven that we were in fact correct. Now, you need to know at any given point what the status quo is. If you ask me what's going to happen going forward, as I said, this is politics. Can we improve the instability? Of course we can through legal reform. If you look at countries like Denmark, you're not allowed to oust a mayor in a motion of no confidence. The law does not allow it. In South Africa, however, we are allowed to do it.
In the interim, Phalatse says she'll review all the decisions taken by the current administration under ANC Mayor Dada Morero.
Every illegal decision will be overturned. It's difficult to say all the decisions. You've got day-to-day operations in the city, and we cannot just have a blanket approach to overturning decisions. But yes, we will go through an assessment process of seeing what decisions have been made in the last few weeks. I'm already aware of some. I've already started overturning some. The boards of the 13 entities of the city were told to stop operating. I've issued a directive that they must continue operating. That's one example. We will be reviewing acting appointments where there's been a lot of movement, particularly amongst senior managers. We're going to be looking at that and various other things. We're very concerned about the lack of target reaching by this illegal administration when it comes to revenue collection. We're concerned about the financial state of the city, so we need to review that, find out where the administration dropped the ball and what needs to happen to get them back where they're supposed to be so that we don't have dire consequences in the city's finances.
The Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi joins us in studio to talk about then how his party will be navigating the way forward. Premier Lesufi, good evening to you. Thanks for your time.
Good evening.
You're also the chair of the ANC in this province, and at this point I imagine already have a plan of action around how your organization will be responding then to this court action.
Well, we respect the rule of law. And we always encourage people that if you are aggrieved, you go to the courts, and the courts will really guide us rather than people insulting us or doing wrong things. So we welcome the court outcome. We've already started the process of reviewing the judgment so that we can take a decision together with our coalition partner. But for now, we want to congratulate Executive Mayor Mpho Phalatse, and we will, after we've met with our coalition partners, take a position on this matter.
It sounds like you're not going to be appealing.
Well, we don't want to impose our views on our coalition partners, so we're meeting with them. On the basis of that, we'll take a decision.
But what is the view that you'll go into that meeting with?
Open-minded.
What does that mean?
It means that we'll take whatever view that people feel it will be the best interest of the municipality and the citizens of Johannesburg.
Do you think it will be helpful to continue fighting over this process in the courts instead of actually try and deal with the matter head-on within the council of the city of Johannesburg?
Well, the African National Congress is not disparate. Remember, we took our opposition benches. It was people that were in the coalition partnership with the DA that felt that the African National Congress can be a better option, and we openly welcomed them. And they've reaffirmed their commitment to work with the ANC. So we will go back to them, work with them. If they feel that we need to either table another motion or appeal or occupy the opposition benches, will be guided by them, but we are not desperate.
Well, you're not desperate, but you know, your representative in the city of Johannesburg, Dada Morero, was sworn in, despite the fact that there were questions over the legality of that sitting in the first place.
Remember, we don't control the municipality. There was a speaker that was elected by council, and the speaker convened a meeting. And on the basis of that, we participated in that meeting.
So what does the future of this battle over the city of Johannesburg then look like? Because it again is going to come down to the numbers. And I was saying to the EFF regional chair in the last hour that what residents want is really stability and transparency from all parties right now in terms of what they're thinking around the configuration of this, the future of the city looks like, is really key in bringing that sense of security.
I fully agree with you. It's not only stability, but to attract the best minds to work for the municipalities. Who will want to apply for a post at the municipality that is not stable? Who will want to invest in a municipality that is not stable? There are many projects that are pending where people want to build houses, want to build shopping complexes, and the council is not meeting to take those particular decisions. We are for stability, actually. And we have demonstrated in Ekurhuleni that where we govern coalition governments, there are no motions of no confidence. For 5 years, we ran that municipality on coalition basis, but there was no motion of no confidence, purely because we respect our coalition partners. And we'll treat this matter as a minor setback. I mean, we all know that all the coalition partners are still on our side. So it's a short-lived victory, but let's congratulate the mayor for coming back as an executive mayor, and we'll respect that.
When you talk about the coalition partners still being on your side, which parties are we talking about here?
The one that voted for us to win power in that municipality.
So you believe there have been no changes in as far as the constituencies, the congregation of those votes is concerned?
Indeed. The last time we had discussions with them later this afternoon, we're still on the same path.
When it comes to what really is at the heart of being able to keep coalition governments together, common purpose is a big issue here. And you would have heard this a number of times now, that the city of Johannesburg residents get a sense that it is often the party political interests that come into play where matters over who should govern and how coalitions are entered into are concerned, and not necessarily issues of service delivery. So even when you listen to how victory is claimed, I think from across the board, it's often about the parties and not about what residents actually need the most.
I differ with your view because we got the largest share of votes in Johannesburg. The party that got the highest number of votes, the party that majority of voters in Johannesburg voted for, is the African National Congress. But we didn't say you voted for us, we received the highest vote, therefore we want to govern. When coalition partner decided to exclude us, we took our benches, opposition benches, and we cooperated. It's only when the coalition government collapsed that other parties came to us. So to blame the African National Congress of going through these difficulties is really unfair. I don't think
it's blaming the ANC solely, but it's really looking at what motivates, what is the driving factor behind these coalitions, because that really speaks to what keeps them together. The reality is that the instability will continue if there is no unifying factor across the political spectrum where different parties are concerned.
Kathy, we say where we've managed coalition partners, we have not been voted out in this particular province because we respect our coalition partners. In Johannesburg, the problem is the DA, Action SA, and those people that were part of the coalition partners. They are fighting every day, they are arguing every day, and they are putting their interest above the interest of our communities. We lost elections, we took our benches. We didn't go to court, we didn't dispute, we didn't fight, we didn't hurl insult. We conducted ourselves in a manner an opposition party should do. But it's only when the coalition relationship or agreements collapsed that we approached, and on the basis of that we worked with those that wanted to work with us. So we remain solid. The interest of our residents must be protected. The interest of that municipality must be respected. That is why we are respecting a court outcome. We are not going to challenge it or argue otherwise. We will rectify where the court says we must rectify. And on the basis of that, we'll take a proper decision with our coalition partners.
The reason why I'm emphasizing this issue of what brings you together, even as partners in this coalition, is that Mpho Phalatse, earlier on today on this very channel, was pretty confident that she too would have, would be able to secure enough votes going into the next council, should there be a motion of no confidence against her, even, should she face another motion of no confidence. So the reality is that it can't be both mayors. And that's why I'm asking, if you have such confidence in this coalition, what is it that brings you as coalition partners together beyond just the politics of being able to say who gets what ultimately, which is how
let me tell you what is it. It's service delivery, nothing else. People of Soweto have been complaining about electricity. We're just in charge for less than 10 days. You will see the influence of the African National Congress in the budget vote speech of the minister tomorrow. We've been in charge for less than 10 days in that municipality. You will see the decisions that we've taken that will ensure that the debt management of that particular municipality is rescued. We've been in charge in less than 10 days. You will see the reconfiguration that we've introduced to ensure that the municipality becomes afloat. We're hit back by one major crisis, which was the water crisis. But above that, we have put the interest of the citizens of Johannesburg above our party political interest, because we know the pain of our citizens when they don't get service. We know the pain of our citizens if they don't get access to service delivery in our community. So we are prepared to be where our people want us to be. If they say we must be on the opposition benches, we'll politely and honestly go there. If they want us to continue to what we have demonstrated to them, we'll do so. And I can assure you, all coalition partners that manage the city of Johannesburg with us, we are still intact, we are still together, and we are ready to be guided by our citizens the next step that they need us to take.
And so effectively, you are going to be hanging on to the mayoral seat in the city of Joburg. Is it going to be at all costs?
Not necessarily. The mayor has issued a statement that he will relinquish the mayoral seat. Unlike the other one that went to court and was calling herself an executive mayor even after a council meeting, we are not going to hang on for the sake of hanging on. Our mayor, who was Mpho Phalatse, has taken a decision that he will step back to the opposition benches, allow a council meeting that is sitting over the weekend to proceed. And out of that council meeting, will be guided of the next step that need to be taken. But we want to congratulate Mpho Phalatse that the court has installed her as executive mayor, and will respect and work with her.
The ramblings around the configuration, especially around the metros in Gauteng, has been one that suggests that Joburg was just a start, and that you also had your sights set on Ekurhuleni and the city of Tshwane.
Where our voters want us to rule, will not go against
but
them.
But right now
and
it's not about the voters.
It's about voters.
It's about how things are set up in the council.
Political parties are mandated
and the
by
votes
voters.
that, yes, but it's about how those political parties vote in council.
Not necessarily. Political parties represent voters. And if political parties feel the African National Congress is a better organization that can provide stability in municipalities, can ensure financial prosperity in municipalities, we'll take that opportunity. But we'll never behave as if we've won elections. We've not won elections. And therefore, we'll work with those that want to work with us. And those that don't want to work with us, want to insult us and want to throw insult towards us, will respect that.
Yes, but are you fishing for opportunities to take over Ekurhuleni and Tshwane?
No. Tomorrow, we've tabled a motion. We've got coalition partners that have agreed with us on that particular motion. And then we'll table that motion on the table. If councillors support that motion, we'll appreciate that.
I'm going to talk to you briefly just about tomorrow. We're going to hear from the Finance Minister, Godongwana, ask you to put, your exchange seats, if that's how it happens, just into your premiership position. Last time we spoke to you in News at Prime, you said you would be making an announcement around e-tolls. There is an expectation that tomorrow we'll hear from the Finance Minister on what the future of e-tolls in this country looks like.
I must be honest, I'm excited about that. We have put a value proposition to the minister. We have exchanged documents, and where we stand, the ball is now firmly in the court of the minister, and we remain very, very hopeful. We really believe this chapter in our history in this particular province may come to an end, but the minister will outline it and will respect whatever decision that he wants to take. But where we are, we really believe that we've put a very strong point on how to manage e-tolls going forward here in Gauteng.
You sound quite optimistic about it, but you're also talking about managing e-tolls. Does that mean that they're not going anywhere?
Well, we have entered into robust discussions, debate with the National Ministry, together with Sandral. I think all parties agree that it's a matter that must be resolved. The uncertainty is too much. And we can't just carry dilly-dallying on this particular matter. There must be finality, and we remain hopeful that tomorrow the minister will make a pronouncement that will ensure that this matter is finally concluded. Will it leave the majority of residents in the province happy? Let's hope so. Happiness is what we thrive for, and so if people will be happy, it will indeed make us happy as well. All right. You've been on a drive throughout the day also raising issues around substance abuse in our communities, which we know is a really, really big struggle. Tell us more about that. Well, Katie, thanks for that. You know, it worries us that every community, every family now is affected by a child that is going through the difficulties of drug. Nyaupe in particular. You go on our townships, we have literally surrendered the future of our children to Nyaupe. And we are saying it can't be. It must come to an end. And that is why we have launched a call center today for every family member that feels that children or their child need help. We are ready to assist as government. You just call 0800 2288 27. We will be in a position to assist you. Our social workers are there 24 hours. You can call now, 0800 2288 27, and we'll be in a position to assist. We can't have the entire generation being wiped out by this Nyaupe thing. We want to rehabilitate them. We want to take them back to school, back to universities. But most importantly, we want to reskill them so that they can't relapse and they can be self-sustainable and proceed and progress with their future and their lives. So on a very practical level then, what is the kind of support that families that reach out on this helpline, or even individuals that reach out on this helpline, can expect? Katie, it's massive. We're going all out for this. We really believe it's something that will assist the future of this country. So practically it means when you call 0800 2288 27, you'll get a social worker who will then ask the name of the child, screen that particular child. If that child needs to be in a residential area, we'll take that child on the cost of the state and make that child to be at the residential area. And we are having the Department of Health that will do the medical checkups and provide the medical help. The Department of Social Development will rehabilitate. The Department of Economic Development will give them skills and things that will make them to be sustainable. And if they want to go back to university, at the cost of the department, we will take them back to university or back to school if they want to go back to school. And those that successfully conclude this program, we are assuring them that the job opportunities that we've lined up strictly for them so that they can continue with their lives. How much is it going to cost the province? That is why we've got the call center. We want the call center to know how many learners are prepared to come, and on the basis of that, we'll know how much it will cost us. So but we're going all out. We are sparing no cost. I said to the team, this is like taking our Bafana to a World Cup, or Banyana to a World Cup, or the cricket team or the rugby team to the World Cup. We can't surrender the future of our children to Nyaupe and worry about things like cost. The cost of them doing what they're doing now, making their families to be in pain, to be in difficulty, is more than any other cost. What we need to do is to protect our children, protect our young people, and ensure that they've got a future all of us can be proud of. All right. If we surrender the future of our children to Nyaupe, we don't deserve to be called government. Panyaza Lesufi, we'll leave it there for tonight. So I guess we'll have to wait and see what will happen in the Ekurhuleni Council, and also just what the state of the future of the city of Johannesburg looks like. We're back